Hi, today we are just going to see about the relationship between the diabetes and diabetic retinopathy. So diabetic retinopathy is one of the major eye health problem and diabetes being the major public health issue. So it is like diabetes is the one which is going to cause diabetic retinopathy. In this diabetes and its relationship with diabetic retinopathy will be seen in multiple presentations, and then this is a part of a but that particular presentation, first part of that particular presentation. So exactly in this presentation we will be seeing about what is diabetes, types of diabetes, and how they are related to diabetic retinopathy, and this is what we are actually going to see or discuss in this particular presentation. So coming to a topic, there's diabetes is a group of disease that is characterized by increased glucose blood level, so blood glucose level. So it is like the whenever we eat a food, it is like that is broken down into it has multiple nutrients, so that is being broken down into glucose and other carbohydrates, etc. So these are the one that derives our day-to-day activity. So this process is being when the glucose level get increased, glucose level is supposed to be maintained at a particular ratio in our bloodstream, whereas it increases when there is an problem with insulin production or in the process of insulin action. So this is a major cause of diabetes. So it is like coming back, insulin is a what is insulin is? Insulin is a hormone that regulates a blood glucose level, and it is being secreted by pancreas. So here the major symptom of a patient having diabetes is polyuria, polyphagia, and polydipsia, which is excessive urination, excessive thirstiness, and excessive the appetite. So it is like the patient will have a frequent urination, patient will feel thirsty in turn, and then the patient will feel hungry so frequently, and they tend to eat more often. So these are the major symptoms with diabetes. So and can be divided into type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, gestational diabetes, and secondary diabetes. Among these four, type 1 and type 2 are the major uh, classifications which we will be discussing in the upcoming slides. So normally there's like whenever we eat a food, it is broken down by our digestive system into multiple nutrients for us to do our regular day-to-day activities. So food contains both carbohydrates, sugars, and they are being broken down into glucoses and stored into glycogens for our future use. So in case it is like the to our body to use a glucose, the glucose should first enter into our cell. So this process is being helped by insulin, which is being secreted by pancreas. So whenever there is an whenever we eat a food, soon after we eat the food, the glucose level increases. To control that, the insulin gets secreted. The triangular one here, triangular shaped one are insulin here. So in the normal cases, what is happening here is the insulin is triggers the insulin insulin receptor, which in turn opens a pathway so that the glucose enters into the cell. In some conditions, the pancreas gets damaged. So in these cases, what is actually happening is there is a reduction in the insulin secretion. So what is happening here is the glucose level is more, whereas in case of a insulin it is very less. So it is like, so because of the less insulin, the insulin uh, the insulin triggers the less insulin triggers the insulin triggers less, and the glucose is observed less. So it is like type 1 is most oftenly it is an early onset, it gives you a sudden symptoms, and it is more of a insulin dependent. So soon after you inject an insulin, it comes into control. Whereas in case of type 2 diabetes, the insulin is produced in an optimal level, whereas in case of a receptor, the receptors are not that sensitive enough to react to the insulin. So what is happening is, in turn again the glucose is not being absorbed. So type 2 diabetes is again called as insulin resistant. So in these cases, giving an insulin injection is not going to help, and then it actually occurs more often in a adult patient, and the symptoms are more gradual. Okay, so these are the two different types of keratoconus, and it is like more noticeably the more symptoms that the patient comes with the complaint is, in case of a diabetes, is the patient will have frequent urination, excessive thirst, they feel weakness and drowsiness, and then they might have a blurred vision as well. So the major point to be noted in case of a diabetes is 1 in 4 patient doesn't know whether he has a diabetes, or he is unaware of diabetes, and diabetes in the earlier stages should be observed. So what happens in case of a diabetes is, they start to damage the endothelial cells in the micro blood vessels. So this might in turn affect the vision, have a vision problem, nerve damage, and kidney diseases. In case when a diabetes damages a macro blood vessels, they causes a cardiac diseases, strokes, and poor circulation will happen. And the risk factor of diabetes is the overweightness, the lifestyle, the family history is the main risk factor, and some ethnicity and the origin of the patient also has a additional risk factors for a diabetes. Other factors that increases the risk for developing type 2 diabetes is other corticosteroids and other medicines that you take for a mental illness, and treatment drugs that you use for HIV treatment are also cause increase in diabetes. Okay, so these are the major things and to be remembered. Why I ask you to discuss about vessel damage and these things is, this is a main cause of change for diabetic retinopathy. So it is like the first sign of damage in retina starts with damage in blood vessels and due to poor circulation. So these are so just remember these things as time goes. So it is like, in case whenever your blood glucose increases, what exactly is happening here is, the beta cells from the pancreas which is being released, which is the insulin. So soon after you eat any food, this is what is happening. So it is like, soon after you eat a food, the glucose level increases, so the pancreas will secrete a beta cells which is an insulin. Then soon after the insulin gets released, the cells are capable of absorbing the glucose, so that it is like muscles will utilize them and then use it as a energy source or convert them into a glycogen. Whereas in case of a liver, they convert it into a glycogen and store them. So this again, soon after the insulin is produced, once they are used or getting stored up, the blood glucose level will come to normal. In case whenever there is a low blood glucose level, so what is happening here is, the pancreas will release a alpha cells into bloodstream. So that in turn, it is like helps the liver to convert the glycogen into glucose. So whereas in case of higher glucose level, glucose is being converted into glycogen. So in case of a lower blood sugar, the stored which is a glycogen is being converted into glucose, and then that is being released into bloodstream. Again the blood glucose level comes to normal. So the major complication with diabetes is nephropathy, neuropathy, and cardiovascular disease. Sorry, sorry, and nephropathy and eye diseases. So in here, the most thing which we are going to discuss is a eye. So I'll just give you a 5 seconds to just think of what are all the ocular changes that diabetes might cause. Just list it down. Even I have a list. Soon after you list it down, we'll just see which one is correlating with you, with your thought. Right? So these are the major causes, ocular changes that happens due to diabetes. So here, what we are exactly going to discuss in our future classes are the diabetic retinopathy. So the diabetic retinopathy is a vision-threatening disease, which is rare in type 1 diabetic patients who has a type 1 diabetes for a period of 3 to 5 years or before a puberty. So it is like much rare in patient. The diabetic retinopathy doesn't show off so fast in case of a type 1 diabetes, whereas when the patient has a type 1 diabetes for a longer duration, maybe for 1 decade or 2 decades, almost at the end of 2 decades, type 1 diabetes, almost everyone is happen to develop is at risk of developing a diabetic retinopathy. Whereas in case of type 2 diabetes, there is like up to 21% of the patients are diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy at the first time when they are diagnosed for diabetes itself. So this is a major difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And duration, as I said before, duration is a major cause of predicting factor for a diabetic retinopathy in diabetes patient. So there is like that is the one which predicts the development and progression of a diabetic retinopathy. As we discussed earlier, there's like over a duration, the micro blood vessels are being damaged. So that causes a further damage of that leads to a retinopathy. So even the prevalence data shows that it is like among the youngsters with diabetes, that it is like if the patient has a diabetes for 3 years, he is at a risk of 8%, whereas in case of a patient who has 5 years of diabetes, the prevalence is up to 25%. In case of patient who has a diabetes for 10 years, the prevalence is up to 60%, and for the patient who has diabetes for 80%, the prevalence is up to 15 years. So just think of these points alone and then be prepared for the next class. Thank you. So we'll just meet up with the other classes.